An independent woman who don't need no man.
Hey Siri, please play the song We Will Rock You.
You vainglorious buffoon. Buffoon.
Trisha, what is the force that causes objects to fall to the ground?
Girl, you better.
I know this because my titties are low thanks to gravity.
Yay! A personal anecdote.
Can we just also say we don't actually need gravity? But that's a different thing.
What do you mean by
I
that?
saw someone do this. Was this a TikTok? We were watching something where someone's like, we don't actually need gravity. We were watching this with me. Like, we actually don't need it.
What do you mean that we don't need gravity?
What if it was never invented?
Invented by who?
Sir Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton created gravity?
Whoever created gravity, someone did, but we don't actually need it.
There
Like,
was
we
a
could have
time
just
on
all.
there was a time on Earth before gravity existed?
Yes. Who created gravity, babe? Dan.
It was Isaac Newton. You're right.
You were in the
it.
right ballpark. Sir Isaac Newton perhaps first defined and discovered
Maybe-
gravity. He
What do you
didn't
mean we don't
invent
need gravity? I'm curious about that
We just
statement.
don't need it.
But like, what do you mean?
The moon doesn't have gravity.
It does. All bodies, all celestial, all bodies,
All
you
mass.
have gravity.
Anything with
In
mass
fact,
has gravity.
In fact, some would say you have a sizable amount of gravity.
What's that mean? I'm fat? You're calling me fat
Yeah.
now.
Well, sweetheart, if you were to step on a scale, this would happen.
Weight limit exceeded. One person at a time, please.
Oh, that's fucked.
You just think that women should be equally represented in the decision-making fora of our nation. Maybe that's really just about having proper equality in a body that's meant to be representative.
Well, I do believe that women should have. I don't understand your question, I guess.
I guess you don't. That's pretty
I don't.
obvious, unfortunately.
Well, how about if you phrase it more clearly instead of just insulting me? 99.9% of bricklayers are men. Should we have quotas for women?
Is bricklaying representative democracy?
That has nothing to do with the question. The question is if there's evidence of structural inequality and oppression because women aren't precisely represented at 50% in all professions at all levels, then why don't we have a conversation about having women represented in all professions at all levels? Why do we talk about the C-suite, for example? Why do we talk about politics and positions of power? Why don't we talk about it across the board?
Okay,
Yeah, but that's because it's
I cannot tolerate, nor do I have the patience for women who abuse their rights when it works out for them, but blames men when it doesn't work in their favor.
Just like, you know what? How many times you've gotten to a club into VIP for free when some ugly chicks had to pay full price?
Is that my fault?
No. I've asked how many times it happened before you go down that path.
I mean, plenty of times in Miami.
Exactly, but that's not fair, is it?
Well, please don't forget I'm not from here.
But that's not the point, ma'am. That's not fair, is it?
I also don't care about those things.
But so you only care about fairness when it doesn't benefit you.
I just don't go to clubs that often.
But that's not the point. I asked you, how many times you've gone to a club where you got in for free where ugly chicks or less attractive chicks had to pay? And you know that's happened. You didn't say, excuse me, sir. Even though I'm attractive, I demand that you charge me full price. You're okay with the double standards that benefit you. But the ones you don't like, you just throw at the wind, use sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right to deflect and dismiss guys who are normally intimidated by this thing. I'm not. I'm just challenging your positions. You're okay with it not being fair when it benefits you.
Remember Rihanna's halftime Super Bowl performance? Most of these girls are built like Rihanna. 2 kids, no rings, and an absolute shit show.
You don't want to get married at all? You don't want a family or children?
Yes, but in the future, but no now.
Well, you're 28, right?
Yes.
When do you want to have kids?
35 maybe?
Well, at 35, 90, from a biological standpoint, at 35 years old, around 90% of your eggs are gone. And your ability to bring a child to term comes down a lot.
I don't think so. Age is a number.
I mean, you can say you don't think so, but realistically speaking, your chances of having a child bringing them to term at 35, that doesn't work often, and it's very expensive.
I don't know. I want to enjoy my life, so I'm not ready.
A wise man once said, "You can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality."
This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I wake up at 12:30 p.m. and get ready for a busy day of doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish shoes since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store. I go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a meditation sesh on the plane since I have no screaming kids, allowing me all the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out with whatever hot guy I met on Raya that morning. I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and kill Hitler. Freeze, you bastard! It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time.
If you guys want to become billionaires, start investing in cat food, because this is feminism in a nutshell. Single, miserable woman alone with her cats trying to cope. Now, since accountability is a woman's kryptonite, who else does she blame for her poor actions?
This is a PSA for all the men out there and all the boys who think they're men, but they're actually boys. This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. If all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be men. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country. I am tired of dealing with trash men. If you want to mix in people like me and people like my friends who are go-getters, please don't mix us in with the Tatianas. If we find out that you are also talking to 5 Tatianas who have nothing going on, Houston, we have a problem.
Calling men trash, dissing my fellow brothers, dissing me, is like masturbating.
I'm about to bust.
Because it's a good idea to begin with until you finish and realized you fucked yourself. Because have you guys ever noticed that the girls who think they know everything about a man lacks one thing? A man.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Because that's all guys want. All guys want is pussy. Swear
What?
to God.
What?
No. Let me rephrase that. Shitty men want pussy, and that's all they want from you. Hire guys that are worth more, that will benefit your life more. They're not just gonna want pussy from you, and that's a fact.
Whenever a girl says,
all guys want is pussy,
well, that's all we want. If that's all you have to offer, and most likely it is. Just that wop.
They ain't got that wop.
You wop, wop, wop.
They ain't got that wop.
And that wop does not stand for that's some wet ass pussy. That wop stands for warned out and pathetic. That wop stands for warrants and probation.
No, I said the majority of men that I had experienced
were trash. But you did say the majority of men are trash.
She hates men, but I guarantee you she does not hate dick. Because this was me with a girl last night who claims that all men are trash. I busted in her walls, call her walnut. I busted on her chest, call her chestnut. I bust down and tore down her guts, call it Cheek Slaying Task Force Epsilon.
Task Force Unit Epsilon 11 designated.
Well, I want different qualities in a man. First, he should have no expectations from me.
Huh? Wait a minute. What about shakalaka boom boom? Or at least a little bit sucky? How can I date you and not expect anything from you? Even this tissue, I expect it to wipe me after I finish doing whatever it is that I am doing at the lower part of my body. Are you telling me that this tissue is more useful than you because it is a thing and I expect something from it? As a human being, I should expect a lot more from you. Are you telling me that you are that useless? From a scale of 1 to a pen without ink, how useless are you that I should not even expect anything from you?
Third, whenever he's out on an office tour, he should always take me with him.
What the father fucking fuck? Why should I take you around my workplace all the time? What are you, a printer or a briefcase? Are you going to vomit office papers or what? Oh wait, I forgot, I should not have any expectations from you. What kind of woman wants to be around her man's workplace always? A mental woman, that's who you, my friend, are mental.
Fourth, I will never cook for him because a woman's place is not in the kitchen.
If a woman's place is not in the kitchen, then why are women naturally hot like the kitchen? And why do women naturally have eggs in their body like the kitchen and oil in their body like the kitchen? And why do they naturally have milk in their body like the kitchen? And why do they naturally have extra meat on their body, if you know what I mean, like the kitchen? You better take your ass back to the kitchen. I joke, woman. I joke. I am joking. Please don't break my balls, woman. Your place is not in the kitchen. Maybe. But seriously, this woman, if you never want to cook for your man, then why don't you take your non-cooking ass to the jungle and eat only fruits there with, I don't know, jungle people who want to marry you, who don't require any cook, or I don't know, go back to 1532 where they probably don't have kitchens.
Fifth, I will never dance with him because I do not want him to lead. That is also very insulting for a woman.
Oh my God, what a brainless idiot. How is dancing with a man equals to insult to a woman? Fuck! Maybe they should exchange her brain with a rat's brain. A rat might have more use for her brain. Fucking idiot! Dancing with a man equals to insult. In which world? Fucking hell!
Sixth, if he ever opens the door for me, I will leave him.
At the beginning of the video, she says,
he should have no expectations from me.
Then she goes on, this is what I expect from a man. Can't she see the hypocrisy? Ladies, men are not your enemy. It's the program that has fed you and sold you all these lies. Because when this Indian lady gets old, after her curry runs out of flavor,
I love curry, I know you can,
things will get extremely spicy for her because she's going to be single, alone with her cats. This Indian lady is why Great Britain left India.
Sixth, if he ever opens the door for me, I will leave him. I mean, he should not think that I cannot open my own doors.
Alright, that does it. Woman, go and penetrate yourself because no man has time for your bullshit. You fucking ungrateful bitch.
If he ever opens the door for me, I will leave him.
My friend opened a door for a feminist. He has a court date in 2 weeks.
I want to say I'm sorry for the things I've done, and I try and be strong.
Is that for teenage boys now, they are so terrified of the consequences of putting a foot out of line. It's hard enough being a young teenager, working out how things are, working out how to do dating and all of that, without the terror that if you touch in the wrong place at the wrong time, you may find that your whole life is destroyed.
See, I
and there
like
is
that
far
terror.
too much. Well,
I like that.
As a
I
mother
think that
of a
men
teenage
should be
boy, I
frightened.
don't like
Really?
that
That's the
terror.
most malicious thing I've ever heard.
That is
I think that
awful.
men should be frightened
I think
to
you'd
touch
feel
women in a way
differently
that
if you
they're
were
not comfortable with.
But we're talking about
Yeah, but we're not talking about.
children.
We're not talking about.
We're talking
yeah, but
about
it's an
young
interesting
children.
thing that you see. I would say that attitude actually is part of the problem too.
It
That
is.
is that's to me toxic femininity.
It is.
That is saying you should all be terrified, you men, if you put one.
Of assaulting.
Well, I think we all understand what sexual
What is
assault
an
is.
assault?
What Isabel's talking about is that young teenage clumsiness
really
in many
hard.
cases, which is now being recategorized as assault. Is that a problem?
It's not being recategorized as assault. It's always been assault. It's just we're finally talking about it.
I don't agree with that. But I do think it's really hard for a 16, 17-year-old boy now in this environment to know even how to start
they are all
having kind of some
terrified.
kind of physical relationship with a woman.
Those good boys are all terrified. I know that from talking to my son. He's just like, I'm just not going there. Is that healthy?
Yes, I think it is actually. I think it's better to not have a physical relationship than to have one that could ruin a woman's life.
But then how do they ever start?
Well, don't. If you're not 100%
Don't.
sure,
What? Are we going
don't.
What are you going to have? A bunch of neutered boys who never
it's
had...
so obvious.
We actually
It's
do
sort
have
of
that.
like-
Gen Z is having far less sexual relationships
Yes,
than any ever
they
before.
are. It's true.
Ava is exactly the type of woman that men warn their sons about before they start dating. I cannot believe that Ava can say what she says and not get canceled. She is the reason why Andrew Tate will exist and will continue to exist. See, Ava is not the problem. The problem is that way too many women think like her. See, there are 3 things that all women want. That is the authority of a man, the rights of a woman, and the accountability of a child. See, a man can drink water, and feminists be like, oh, he's stealing water from fish. A man can literally sit down in a chair, and feminists be like, he's mocking disabled people. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like we're the prize here.
Yeah.
Women
are the prize. Why is that?
I don't know. You just have to.
Would you rather have the love of your life or the career of your dreams?
The career.
The career, okay.
Yeah.
Of your dreams.
Yeah.
Why? You don't want love?
I mean, love is good. Like, love is great. But at the same time, I feel like a career make me feel like I have more like fulfillment.
I've spent many years researching about women's rights. I even went out of my own way to go to the library to check and read out books about feminism, because I am Asian, overachiever. And what I learned and what I uncovered, that these books were nothing but filled with a giant piece of giraffe shit. I was furious. As a matter of fact, I was so furious. I walked across the library, threw that feminism book on the fictional bookshelf. And that was the last day I was ever allowed to be in that library. I got my library card privileges revoked, exiled, banned, whatever you want to call it, because Susan and all the ladies at the front office wasn't too pleased. But I looked Susan dead in the eye, and I said this.
I don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck!
Now, before I end this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
About the boat, where are the keys? Because we're in an emergency and we need some help.
All right, I'm gonna give you the keys, and I want to see some stuff.
Okay. No. We are not going to show you our boobs.
Bitch, please! I'm 11, not 5. I've seen thousands of titties. I want to see you two scissor.